remember that every single gift is so impactful and significant in the lives of those who are affected by cancer and their families. So please call 877-738-1234. You can text K-Cancer to 20222, or you can just hop on the website, jimmyfund.org, to continue to support families like the one who join us currently on the set as we officially bring you back in. I'm Elle Duncan, Jade McCarthy, Michael Bivens, and we are joined by the LeClaire family. Sweet Violet over here. Hi, Violet. Can you wave to the camera?
Say hi.
She's like, where am I waving to? Right over there we go. Can
like, there's a lot of cameras going on here.
Exactly.
What's up?
Yes.
A lot of cameras.
Violet is here with her parents, Lucy and Brian. They join us from Merrimack, New Hampshire. And I want to start just at the beginning of Violet's journey with Wilms tumor. It's every parent's worst nightmare.
It is.
Truly, we're all parents, and like, you know, I'm looking at your sweet baby girl, and when did you know there was an issue? How did her journey begin?
It was a normal weekend. We were at home. She spiked a little bit of a fever, and her stomach was hard and tender to the touch. She was kind of wincing, crying, in pain, and it was like, you know, upper, where it was a weird area. So we called the on-call pediatrician, and she called back and said, you know, if she can jump, if she can run, if she can eat, if she can drink, I wouldn't really worry. You know, monitor, of course, but, you know, nothing to worry about. So, fine. She could do all of those things, check, all those boxes. So that was a Saturday. We wake up Sunday morning, and the fever had broke, and her stomach was still a little tender, but she wasn't like crying or anything in pain. All right. And I noticed a little lump on the right side. So I asked Brian to feel it. He's like, yeah, I feel it. I'm like, it doesn't seem normal, but I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I mean, I know like basic anatomy, but I don't know where things are really.
Yeah, exactly. Could be an organ.
Right.
Are you like mother's intuition? Are you feeling like something isn't quite right here? Or are you just sort of like, okay?
Yeah, it was just a little, this is weird kind of moment.
Yeah.
So Monday we wake up and it's still there. I'm like, I'm just going to call and maybe they can fit us in this morning. And so I called. We had an appointment at 9 o'clock or 9:30. I think Brian said that I called him at 9:36. So I went to the pediatrician. She evaluated her and said she needs to be evaluated further. You need to go to the emergency room now. So headed right up to our emergency room in Manchester, New Hampshire. From there, she got an ultrasound that found a mass on her kidney. He suspected it was a Wilms tumor, and he said, now this is out of our scope. So you either can go up north to Dartmouth or to Boston, but you need to go now.
You know,
went down to Boston. It was 3:30 in the afternoon, and she got a CAT scan later that night that confirmed the mass. We got home at 4 o'clock that morning, and I mean, it was amazing that I left for a doctor's appointment at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then our whole world flipped upside down.
Literally within days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Within hours.
Within hours.
Yep.
I mean, like, what are you thinking at that point? Like, can you take us back to that time? And
I think it was a lot of shock. It's, like you said, every parent's worst nightmare, and something that you don't really think is real. Like, it was just all surreal. Everything moves so fast, which is wonderful, but it also doesn't give you much time to process anything.
Yeah.
When you had the choice to make, you could go to Dartmouth, you could come to Boston.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to come to Boston?
I looked at the attending and I said, tell me what to do. You know, like, I don't know what to do here. And he said, go to Boston.
This is what I was going to say as a father too, Brian.
Yep.
When you know you're speaking to your wife and you're talking about your daughter, as a man, your heart is going two ways. You're going to Violet, you're going to your wife.
Of course.
And you have to be there as a man, this man of strength.
Yeah.
But you're listening to something that you know is tearing your inside apart.
Yeah.
When you walked away and looked in the mirror and realized what was about to be thrusted upon you, how did you deal with the fact of how Brian's going to handle it? How am I going to be there for my daughter? And the strength I need to have for my wife as a man, as a father?
Well, it was definitely not what I was expecting to hear from a phone call from her. She called me in tears. I immediately started crying.
Yes.
I don't know what to do. She said she was going to Elliott in Manchester, New Hampshire, so I immediately was like, all right, what do I got to do? So I had our other daughter, who was at the time was only 7 months old, had to bring her to her mom's house so I could go meet them. So as I'm walking in the house, I stopped and looked, like you said, I looked in the mirror and I just kind of sat there and I was like, all right, well, let's just do this. Let's get this go. Whatever we got to do. Didn't have any clue what I was about to face, what we were about to face. We just had that, well, you might get bad news situation. So like I said, she called me not happy. So she was crying. We were like, all right, let's go do this. So like I said, I dropped off the other daughter. I drove up to Elliott. I was just in time for the emergency room doctor to walk in and tell us that he believes it was a Wilms tumor, and we needed to go to Boston or Dartmouth. Boston is obviously the choice that we made. And I back that choice 1,000 times over because the people of this facility are incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
What has the treatment looked like for Violet? What you come to Boston and you find out what?
Right. So this was on a Monday. So surprisingly, we left that night. So you think like, okay, something has to happen now. You know, and the emergency room doctor came back in and he confirmed the mass on her kidney and said, you know, this is really weird that I have to send you home, but it's also a good thing that I have to send you home. You know, like you don't want to stay there, but you do because you want it to be resolved in that moment.
Yes.
Right.
So we left on a Monday, they called on Tuesday, and we were in the Jimmy Fund on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We were meeting with, so they had their big board meeting on, there she is eating pizza.
what the right meal, right?
The pizza's bigger than her.
Pizza's bigger than her.
We were back in the Jimmy Fund on Wednesday, and she had her port placed that Friday. I mean, everything happened so fast. So total, she'll have 25 weeks of chemo. She just finished radiation yesterday, which is amazing that she is.
Awesome.
She's pointing to herself. Yes, that's you. That's you. That's you.
Yeah. So 25 weeks of chemo. We are, 12 weeks in?
Yeah, we have.
She just had surgery to remove the tumor, so the tumor's out.
Yeah, so tumor's out, and radiation was completed yesterday.
Yep.
So we just have to ride the last few weeks of chemo.
Yeah.
Five more.
Yeah.
Well, 5 more treatments, but it's over a 12-week span. So we got a little bit of a road ahead of us, but the finish line is definitely close, hopefully.
You know, I was here last year, and we sat with a patient and the family, and I could tell sitting with you two that there's a lot of strength in what you're walking through. Even the way you're explaining what this is, you're explaining it like you understand what you're walking through. You understand how you're going to get there. And it sounds like the both of y'all are on the same page.
For sure.
And that's 50% of it. Just understanding what's in front of the family. And it's translating. She was here, she was a little quiet, but the moment she just saw herself on television. But
we might have a budding TV star. I like
this. She came out of her shell, but you know what I thought that was? That was the personality of the parents.
Yeah.
And that's what's coming through your child.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't realize she's on television and she's the star, and the pizza was bigger than her. Go ahead, Jade. What was you going to say?
She is very blissfully unaware of all of this.
Yeah. But again, that's a testament to both of you and trying to maintain childhood normalcy through all of this, and I think one of the things that we encourage all of you who are watching and listening, and this beautiful little girl
She's
smiling at you, is that your gift makes a difference in so many different ways. It's in the medicine itself and how the research can continue to better it along the way. It's for families like this trying to live out their day-to-day. And Brian, I wonder if you could elaborate on that a little bit, because life has changed so much for you.
Yeah.
And when people do give a gift, it can go to a lot of different things, and all of them can make a difference for your family.
Yeah. One thing is gas. Gas isn't cheap anymore. So driving back and forth from where we live in Merrimack, it's about an hour and 10 minutes, depending on traffic. And we all know Boston traffic isn't always the greatest.
Never.
So sometimes an hour and a half, hour 45, back and forth, a couple, 3 times a week, depending on scans. So just the gas card, just one little thing like that is helpful.
And the social workers and the resources are amazing at the Jimmy Fund. We've gotten gas cards and gift certificates and resources to hotels that have cheaper rates for Dana-Farber patients. They're just incredible. The toys in the playroom, I mean, everything there is absolutely amazing.
We hear that Violet's a big fan of the playroom.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
What does she tend to gravitate to? What's her toy of choice?
She loves the kitchen toys.
Okay.
The kitchen toys.
There's a doctor kit she always goes to. She
Yep.
likes to play doctor.
Awesome.
Maybe we have a future doctor on our hands.
Yes.
We don't know.
Love that.
Yeah.
Maybe a TV doctor.
A TV doctor.
Maybe we can get that.
It was a whole show. We love it. I think that the sense of helplessness, right, is probably the scariest part. When I see stories like yours, as someone that has a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I just wonder if you could speak to sort of families that have been impacted, or maybe at the beginning of their journeys after getting a similar diagnosis, if you could just maybe speak to how you find sort of the ability to put one foot in front of the other, and how you have stuck together as a family when seemingly it could have torn you all apart.
Yep.
How you've stuck together through this journey for Violet.
I think it's her. I think seeing her smile every single day, and that this, like, seemingly from the outside, hasn't affected her.
Yeah.
I mean, her world has been, our whole worlds have been rocked, but, I mean, this is her body, and she just is like this every single day, smiling, laughing, playing, and it just, she is the reason that we're able to put one foot in front of the other and just keep going.
Right.
I feel like in the beginning, you know, she had a rough week, her first week of chemotherapy, and so we kind of had a rough week. But since then, it's been, if she's happy, we're happy.
Yeah.
It's hard not to be happy when she is.
Correct.
It is, I think the social worker said to us one of our first couple weeks there that, you know, she's probably not going to remember any of this, but she'll remember us around her.
Yes.
And so I think that's really what we've focused on, is just being around her and being happy and being helpful and just being there for her.
And Violet has a little sister.
She does,
Yes.
Aniston.
Aniston.
Yep.
Oh, love that name.
Thank you.
So cute. What has that been like for you, you know, wanting to obviously be there for Violet and surround her with support, while also having this 1-year-old, you know, baby girl as well?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's a lot of mom guilt. Of
course.
Like,
There's always
she doesn't
mom
have
guilt.
the childhood that Violet had. You know, she doesn't have the baby book and the milestone photos. And but I have to remember that, like, none of that really matters.
No.
You know, we are doing what we can, and we love her, and Violet loves her, and she amazingly is an incredible baby, and she's getting a lot of time with a lot of family that she probably wouldn't normally get.
Yes.
And that's special in its own right.
Right.
Yes.
Sure. Right.
You know what she wants more than she wants a baby book? She just wants her sister to be happy and healthy,
Yes.
and she's getting that.
Yep.
Thanks in large part to her incredible parents, but also to Dana-Farber. We're just so thrilled that you all could be here with us and share your story with us. And Violet is just giving me all the feels right now. I really do think we have a budding TV star. Violet, can you
Be
just
on TV?
Violet, can you just wave to the folks at home one more
you
time?
wave?
Can you wave?
She's like, I don't work on demand.
Yeah.
I will work when I want to. There you go.
Blow kisses, Violet.
Roses are red. Violets
There
are
she is.
blue.
There it
Jimmy
is.
Fund just loves
What a
you,
beautiful
Violet.
smile. What a beautiful smile. She is beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank
My
you so
goodness.
much
Thank you
for
very
being
much.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you, Brian.